My Redeemer lives. Amen, guys. That's a song that got me a husband, eh? All right, people. This is yet another episode of The Married Village. Are you already following us? Are you subscribed? Have you shared? Okay, guys, those who are returning, karibuni sana, welcome. And for those who are new, welcome to our channel. This is Terry and
Tony Gobanga.
Yes.
Go with a bang.
Amazing. Today, we want to talk about our wedding.
Before that, what color is this now? I mean, were you trying to, mustard, but
See, guys. No.
That yellow? What's that? What's that you're wearing?
So ours in orange. Then hubby says, let's record something. Because we just want to do it spontaneously whenever something comes up. And I look at us and
You're
say,
trying to copy me, right?
No, this is actually the right version of yellow, though. You guys know that, right?
Mustard. This is mustard.
Don't trust a man to tell you the colors.
Okay.
Like, it is universal.
You tell me. Tell me in the comments below who stands out.
Oh, hello.
I'm sure them ladies, because
Hello.
you're going to get many votes for the ladies, because
Oh,
the
Lord.
gents will just look at me and be like, the gents will agree with me and don't say a word.
Oh,
But
God.
it's clear.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, people, today we want to share about a bit of how we organized our wedding and our wedding day.
Yep.
So where do we begin?
Our wedding, when we set out to, when you eventually said you're marrying this guy after all the challenges that we've been through.
Ooh.
And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we wanted to have a unique wedding, an intimate wedding that not more than, we started with 50, then we went to 100, because we didn't have money at that time. I just resigned from where I was working at that time, and got into ministry where I was fundraising, looking for partners to support me.
Yeah.
And so I had an unpredictable flow of income, and because I was doing campus ministry and studying at the same time.
Right.
And you were a youth pastor, an associate pastor, earning a paltry amount of income. And so
Paltry.
Yeah.
Paltry amount. Did you hear?
Not cuckoo, not poultry.
Okay.
I know you're a lawyer and you have a high affinity for chicken.
Guys, did you hear him say paltry amount? Like, kuku mingi, amount of chicken. Like, paltry?
Yeah, a paltry amount of income.
That's little?
Yeah.
Okay, little amount.
Yeah, and so we didn't have money, and we didn't want to get into people's spaces and ask them, please give for a wedding. We are fundraising. We wanted to work within our budget, and so wanted just something intimate. But then when we got down to writing down our list, it kept on growing and growing. Who do you leave out? Who do you invite? And it was a challenge.
That was a challenge. And I know some of you are asking yourselves, what challenges had they gone through? Because my husband mentioned challenges. We'll link that video talking about, from the time, after, he made his intentions known to me, what happened, how long from that time to when we got married. That's the video that you need to watch so that you understand when we're talking about the challenges and how we came up with, what we came up with for our wedding.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so when we started out, we thought maybe we should have a cards only because of what I'd been through. And I wasn't so sure if it is something that, do we want a big wedding? Do we want a small wedding? Because I've had a wedding before, so how is that going to be? And that's why I'm saying you go back and watch that video. So we thought, you know what, maybe we should just have a cards only. But then, as my husband says, when we set out to start writing our list, by the time we got to 500 guests, we just knew, throw that plan out the window. It's time to invite everybody. So we did 500 cards.
Yeah, 500 cards.
To invite people, but
At the end of the day, many people, we had close to over 800 people showing up for our wedding.
Yes, because we had 500 seats set out, but we had people sitting on the grass, and there were just so many people, but we've jumped ahead of ourselves.
Okay, let's get on to the planning.
All
My
right.
wife wanted us to have some funny maroon, is it burgundy or some funny, this common
Beautiful
colors.
colors.
You'd call it beautiful. That's relative, but almost everybody has those colors at their wedding. Maroon and white
Jesus.
and black.
One of the things that guys need to understand is that my husband is a creative, and I'm a creative as well. But then I am a symmetrical creative. He's a
Artistic. I'm more artistic.
he's a
and
symmetrical.
more-
Like he's the kind of person who throws paint on the wall and says that's paint, abstract. I'm
That's
like,
art.
why are you lying? Yeah, that's art. I'm like, no, you're lying. That's not art. Have you seen those people? And they sell for so much money. But those of us who take time to draw the outlines, and this is exactly how it looks, and what, so I'm that person.
Because that's too
So
common.
he would rather come up with something.
Unique.
Okay, so my husband doesn't do out of the box. He completely destroys the box. Just in case you have a thought of getting back in the box so that you fit in, that's not him. So he completely destroys the box, and hey, we're gonna do this in a totally different way. So that's why he thought, now let's go with something out of this one, something that we had not seen. Maybe we thought maybe someone out there we will get somebody who does this. So we started looking out at different themes.
Yeah.
How did we settle?
So my wife, I wanted us to come up with a general theme that encapsulates the wedding and will sort of like guide us in everything that we do. And my wife likes giraffes, and since both of us are tall, I was like, why not?
Yes,
Let's
it
settle
only
for that.
makes
Because
sense.
initially I wanted us to work with black and gold, just something unique.
Right, yeah.
But my wife was a bit superstitious, saying black is too dark and too
Superstitious,
mysterious. And
he
because I'm a pastor, I don't know what people are going to say. And I'm like, why not? And so we settled for the giraffe theme. So it was giraffe and so sort of like burnt orange,
Yeah, burnt
brown,
orange.
and cream or peach. Those are the colors that we're working with. But the main theme was going to be giraffe. And so right from the wedding invite, we printed out CDs. Do you remember that?
Oh my God.
Printed out
I'd
CDs.
forgotten that.
And so you needed to play in your CD to get the instructions for the invite.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I am so sure I came up with that thought. That was so beautiful. I mean, the CD invite and the cover was a giraffe. I wish we had this.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a photo. We'll put some photos of our wedding as we go along so that you can see what we're talking about. Then when we settled for that, we started looking for service providers, somebody who has the the drapes for giraffe print, but we couldn't find any. In fact, those who had, maybe they had one or two for the table, but then we wanted our tents to be draped in the giraffe print. We wanted our tables, everything. So what did that mean? We had to go out and buy. Yes, you had that right. We bought yards and yards of fabric because we needed to do this. So yeah, that's what we did.
Yep. And we're using the giraffe fabric and Haitian.
Yes.
You know what we call in Swahili gunia, the Haitian
Yes.
fabric. So that was a contrast. So we bought a lot of that material, and our outfits, the group's outfit, which was all burnt orange, brown, and peach.
Yeah.
That is what we're working with.
Yeah. And really, if you're not artistic, it's one of those weddings you see and say,
What's going on over here?
what's going on? Something is wrong. Or, oh my God, they're so poor. They couldn't afford to have a better wedding. Because, why do we say this? Even our own parents. I remember our mothers were so depressed. I mean, really, depressed is the word. Especially when my mom saw my wedding gown and it was made of Haitian. She just thought, why? Like, is it money you guys don't have? We are ready to buy for you. You should not have this for your wedding. So it took, well, I can't even say it took convincing, because we did not convince them. We just went ahead because it was our wedding and it's what we had agreed on. So we just went on to have that theme. So it was Haitian and giraffe print.
Talk about the menu.
Oof. The menu was So we coming from the western part of Kenya, but in Africa, we're coming from the East African part of it. So we decided, because we were having people flying in and some people from different communities coming in our country, we thought, from our country coming for our wedding, we thought we wanted to have people have a taste of where we're coming from, the community where we're coming from. And so that's what we had. So we did not have things like rice, because that's not what you will find in our community. Instead, you will find what we call ugali. People from West Africa, they call it fufu.
What's ugali?
Here, people call it grit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had, grit, ugali, fufu, whatever you want to call it, depending where you're coming from. It's made of corn flour, for those who do not know. Yeah, just mix it with water until it hardens. So, and then we had sweet potatoes, we had chicken. I mean, chicken is a real deal in our community. We had beef stew, but this is made different with our people back at home in our community, where you dry it and then you smoke it.
Yeah.
And then now you make stew out of it. It's tasty, tasty, tasty. For drinks, we had porridge, we had tea and water, but then we decided to accommodate our parents, because at this point they were just not believing that there wouldn't be soda. Like, how do you not have soda in a wedding? So we decided, hey, you know what, we're going to have this, because as I told you, it's a community. Remember Married Village, the community aspect of it. So we just thought, hey, let's allow them in this way.
Yeah.
What else did we have in our menu? We had gizzards. That is so precious. Like, you have to be respected to be given gizzards. We had maize.
Roasted maize.
Yeah. Boiled maize. We had
Groundnut stew.
Oh my God, that
very
was
nice. Our
so
caterer,
nice.
Susan, the husband, he did an amazing,
That was so
amazing
good.
job. Yeah.
Then we had, you say roasted. You say
roasted maize.
Roasted maize.
We also had. Did we have Simpson?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
What are Simpsons? Sesame seeds.
Sesame seeds,
Yeah.
right. And for our favors, the thank you favors that you give your guests, we gave them jaggery. And the jaggery was put in a paper bag, plastic paper bag, and then it was wrapped with a Haitian and with a miniature giraffe.
Yeah.
That was so pretty. I mean, we really, really love that we were able to do that to all. And so you can imagine getting this thing wrapped in Haitian, you're thinking, what is this? And you open it, you find it's a jaggery, because many people are used to giving out cake, candy, things like that. So that was precious.
Valentine Cake House made for us a beautiful cake, an original cake. The shape was asymmetrical.
Yes.
It had the cactus all over, there was trees, and it was so unique. It created the impression of a forest.
Yeah.
And the cake was like a mountain.
Right.
That had a giraffe print.
Yes.
And so it was really, really, and draped, of course, with the Haitian fabric.
Yes.
It was really, really unique and amazing. He really captured the essence of the cake.
Yes.
Of the essence of the theme.
Of the theme.
Yeah.
One highlight for me when it comes to our decor for the wedding was, we had, the way you have the arch where people pass
the bridal party.
The bridal party. We, instead of having the usual arc, we had two gigantic giraffes. I mean, metallic giraffes. They were about
10 feet.
About 10 feet tall. They were so pretty. They were so domineering. It was the metallic, and they were just standing so large. So that was our art, and I thought that was so beautiful. I'm sure you'll be able to see the pictures on that we'll be sharing with you.
Yeah.
So that was good. What are some of the things that you can say we did that you're like, no bride, no groom should do that? Because I know it was a learning curve for us.
Yeah, it was a learning curve. There is you might be having, you might come from the school of thought where you don't want to stress people with fundraising and so on, which is okay, but you don't have to bear the brunt of planning your own wedding, because what happened was that, fine, you end up getting exactly what you want, but it takes a toll on your body.
Absolutely.
Both on you, both emotionally, even physically. and sometimes even both of you, you get, because you're trying to compromise, you're trying to agree on certain things. And so by the time it gets to the wedding day, you are tired, you are drained. If you look at our photos, they're not good. I mean, we had hollow cheeks,
drained.
you look malnourished,
completely.
and you're just telling yourself, when will this event end? One thing that we did that we wouldn't advise anyone to do, on the wedding day, I met my bride on the wedding grounds to do the deco. Who does that? We did our own deco. We didn't have a wedding committee. We had an executing committee that we met 3 days to the wedding. And so we gave them instructions, but still we did not trust them enough to do what we wanted. And so we were there trying to ensure that the reeds, the fishing baskets were the right place, the giraffes and all those other things.
Yeah, because our walkway had this giraffe, about 3 feet tall, carved giraffe, on the walkway. It was really pretty, and we did a good job, but it takes away from the joy of the day, because we were completely drained. We were tired before the day began. If you look at our pictures, I'm sure you can see, I mean, cheekbones were popping out, sunken, everything. We were just so tired. I remember when we went for our photo shoot at the Giraffe Center. Hello, cut that. At the Giraffe Center, because just to go on with the theme. And I remember my husband saying, let's not go back. You know, he crazy. So that's advice I want to give you guys. Please don't do that. I mean, don't sneak away.
No, I mean, I've already gotten the bride. And this is one thing that I came to realize, and even in our counseling, we've realized that many ladies are in love with the wedding day. And so they want to ensure that everything goes well on the wedding day. The guys are in love with the wedding night.
Yes.
So I was telling my wife, at that time she was my wife, we are married, we have the wedding rings. Let's go for honeymoon, forget everything else.
Can you imagine? Like, people are waiting for us at the wedding, and then we take off. No, I mean, I said, no, we have to get back. When did we get lost? Going back or going to the...
Going back to the venue.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we didn't have the GPS as
yes,
well. It was,
we got lost. Like, we were driving around for quite some time before we got to the wedding venue. It was so bad for our guests, sorry. But we eventually got there. We were able to dance. We were able to cut the cake. I mean, we received a beautiful, most amazing gifts from different people. And basically that's what happened. So people really gave towards our wedding. And this is a good time to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for all those people. I mean, our strategy was to talk to our friends and ask them to give $10, which is equivalent to 1,000 Kenya shillings. And people gave generously. I remember one of my former students that I was mentoring asked us, you can't ask me to give you $10. I want to take care of the cake. How much is the cake? That was around $250, which is 25K Kenya shillings. And he said, let me take up a substantial amount off your budget. And we had several guys who just decided to say, I'm going to take care of this. But the majority of the finances came from people that just gave $10. That's 1,000 Kenya shillings. And it was amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, all those people. 14 years later.
I know.
I mean, you made our dream come true. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And one of the things we keep saying, don't get into a debt. Because you're trying to prepare for a wedding and you're trying to have the most amazing wedding. I mean, we've had weddings where we've joined weddings in a restaurant. Just the couple and their best couple, and that's it. So most of the time you realize that we want to outshine, your cousin, your whoever's wedding, or for the people, but just sit down, both of you, look what you have, and then come up with something.
One highlight. One of the highlight was the soundtrack. You remember you had the soundtrack for the bridal party were animals. We had animals entering a jungle because we wanted to create the impression that the wedding is happening in the wild.
Yeah.
And so my bride was draped up in a Haitian fabric with
Yes.
giraffe theme and reeds popping out of her braided hair.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's walking in, we have all these birds chirping and animal sounds and the lion roaring from the background.
Right.
It
It was so
memorable.
good. I remember
Yeah.
my mother. My mother is the one who walked me down with it was my mom
Yeah, just
and
your
my
mom.
sister.
Yeah.
Yes, because my dad today he's in heaven. My dad was on a wheelchair. He was so unwell. Actually, he came to the wedding by God's grace. It was a pure miracle. I loved that he was able to come. He just pushed himself. But so as we're walking down, I remember my mom holding my hand. And so when the soundtrack started, because I hadn't told her what was going to happen, I mean, she was, she was looking around like, wait, because our wedding venue was in Karen, which with a lot of trees and everything. I mean, it looked closer to a jungle. So my mom was thinking, wait, we've been attacked. Like all the animals have come out to play on this day. I mean, not cool at all. But that was fun to watch her facial expression. She was so shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. So take away lessons.
Right.
Don't be pressured to please anyone. The wedding constitutes of the two of you, a minimum of 2 witnesses, and the officiating minister.
Yes, and
Yeah.
come up with your own theme.
Yeah.
It could have been done before. That's okay, but as long as it's yours, like have your wedding should have marks of you littered everywhere. You know, this your personality. Because it's your wedding, you know, it's yours, it's your beautiful day. If your personality, if both of you are this introverts and you don't allow people to really pressure you and have something that you just don't want, people are not even going to pay for it. And one of the things that we always say, someone has something negative to say about your wedding. So please don't give yourself all that unnecessary pressure, because someone has to say the food was cold, I didn't get the food, your gown did not look good, your hair wasn't good, your makeup. I mean, someone has to say something negative. That's what people do. So don't be pressured about those things.
Yes, one other thing I wanted to say, I forgot.
Sorry.
Honeymoon.
Ooh.
I would advise you can, it all comes down to preference, and you can, if it makes sense, you can apply it, or if it doesn't, you can discuss this advice. But what I would advise you is that look at your entire budget, or the amount of money that you have or what you've raised, and you can decide to spend 30 or 40% for your wedding and 60 or 70% for your honeymoon. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the two of you and the foundation that you're building. As opposed to spending all that money for your wedding and you have 5 or 10% for your honeymoon. If you can afford it, you can still go ahead and splurge and have a huge wedding and still have a glorious honeymoon. It's all about you. But my preference would be spend as little as you can for your wedding and still make it beautiful, and then have an awesome time with your new spouse.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Well, that's a good place to end, right? So join us again for the next episode.
Yep.
Where we'll be talking about
something else. We'll surprise you.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we'll surprise you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, and remember to hit the notification belt. Belt?
Belt.
Bell.
My good Lord. So put on your belt and then...
Belt of truth, that's what I meant. You know,
Belt of truth.
Yes.
So you can lie while...
Belt of truth.
Oh, Lord.
Jeez.
Pray for my wife. Please. And pray for me too. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.